Hi, and thank you for coming by and taking the time to watch this video. My name is Servant of Shiloh. I have a YouTube channel called RPG Elite, and I am a game master. And I've been doing this for a little amount of time. And we just lost 2 players for our campaign. And I wanted to do something a little different this time as far as our recruitment went. So one of the guys had been with us for quite a while, but school started and he didn't have the time anymore. The other one, he was into the campaign, but something happened on a personal level. I don't really know what it was. At one time you could get a hold of him on Discord. Now, crickets. So I didn't press it, and we wish the best for both of them. But now we've got some slots that are available in our campaign. So let me give you the cliff notes and the 411 of what we're looking for and what we're about in this campaign. Now, the system is the One Ring, which is basically Lord of the Rings. I'm reading off my notes here, so if I keep looking down, it's not because I'm trying to ignore you. It's first and second edition with a compendium of homebrew rules that I have put together because this campaign has been going on for a good minute. I've had some people who've been in it, oh goodness, 2 years now, something like that. It's a bi-weekly campaign every other Saturday from 12 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. And that's GMT -4. Is free. No prices here for this, but there still is a caveat. I'll get to that in a second. And the tone of the campaign is more like the movies. So if you haven't seen the movies in a while, go back, watch the movies. That's the tone that we're looking for. This is online. It's an online campaign, and we play and use Foundry VTT. Now, you don't need Foundry. I'm the only one that needs Foundry, and you just need a browser. And if you are chosen, then you would get a password and everything to get in through your browser. Now, there were 2 people who left, but we only really need 1 person. We'll take 2 people if we get the right people. And that's imperative. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we have a philosophy called RPG Elite. I have some players who's been with me for like a decade. And we have what we call an RPG Elite philosophy, which is why my YouTube channel is called that. Now, if you want to find out what that means, you can go to a video right here. You can check that out, okay? But stay here right now if you're still interested in other details about this campaign and whether or not you want to try out for it. We are RP focused and story driven. And this is a long-term campaign. So we're not looking for somebody who wants to be here for a couple months, who wants to be here for a week, who wants to do one-shots. We're not doing that. This is a long-term campaign. And so that means that whoever comes on board, we're going to expect the commitment from. We're going to expect them to clear their schedule. We're going to expect them to be a little serious about the campaign. Now, we aren't talking about that, you can never, miss a session type of deal. We ain't talking about that. We're just talking about some, people who are relatively, they're into it, they're committed, they're here, they're willing to learn about the game, all the rest of that. You don't need to know the game out the bat. I don't understand why people think they need to know the game. You learn the game as you go. So we will expect you to learn the game, and if we choose you, we expect you to go start learning the rules, learn the basics, those kind of things. That video that I just pointed out to you, let me do it again right here. That actually becomes very important because I'm repeating some things that are in that video. These are clean sessions. So what does that mean? I don't want no vulgar joking. I don't want no profanity. I don't want none of that. I actually had people who didn't want to become part of the campaign because they couldn't use a foul mouth. Okay, well, that's fine, and that's your prerogative. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here because we don't do that, all right? So if that's an issue for you, you can click on off this video right now. As far as the lore is concerned for Tolkien, it's medium to heavy, right? Because we're obviously making our own story here within the Tolkien world. But it is based on the lore. Now, do you need to know the lore? Yes and no, kind of. Excuse me. I'm more inclined that you probably would be better if you didn't. Because then it's the discovery of the lore and discovery of the world if you're not real into that. But it will help you out from a character standpoint. Like, your character obviously will know some things, right? So from a character standpoint, once you would make your character, then it might be good to know at least that little bit of the lore so you can get into your character more. Because again, we're RP focused and story driven. So probably if you want to do that, as far as the time period in the lore, we're after The Hobbit and before Lord of the Rings. That's the time period that this campaign takes place. And if you were to come in, you would be coming in with a couple players who've already had it for a while. One player who just made their new character because we switched over from Numenera and now we're doing this. So you would be getting in a section of the campaign on the ground floor, really, especially with the second edition just coming out and us mixing everything together. So that's it. That's the cliff notes. Those are the basics. And if you're still interested and want to know a little bit more, it's time for you to set up an interview. Time for you to hit me up on Discord, Serving a Shiloh, and I'm probably right here. Let me say right here. Right here is where I will give you my Discord information, and you can get a hold of me. And you can also just follow this post because I just posted this probably in a couple different places. And just hit me up and we'll set up an interview, and it won't be with just me. It will be with me and some of the players, because these guys have to play with you possibly. And there is no guarantee. Let me make this clear. There's no guarantee that we'll say yes. We've said no to a lot of people. It's no hard feelings, but again, going back to that video that I referenced earlier, it's the reason why. And once we find out that somebody's not really going in that direction, it's no hard feelings, but we're really just trying to put together a solid core group that's going to last for a while. So hit me up, and if you got any questions, hit me up. All right? So unless I hear from you, hey, happy gaming.